Challenge accepted. Hi friends, it's Melanie from Simple Made Pretty, and if you are new to my community, I share budget home decor ideas, Cricut crafts, and dollar store DIYs. In today's video, I am joining some amazing creators for the Mystery Box Challenge. Now, if you are not familiar with the Mystery Box Challenge, Courtney from Creative on the Cheap, she created it, and this month's host is Kristen from Kristen K, and we have like a spring themed mystery box challenge. So Courtney manages to get all of us together and assigns who sends a box to who, and we each bundle up some items, crafty items, home decor items, and we have a whole list. Actually, I'll go over it in a second, and send it to each other. And so it's a fun little surprise. So here is my box. My box came from Courtney herself, so I'm a little scared to see what she sent me. Courtney has sent me boxes in the past. This is one of her smaller boxes, I must say, so that's can be a little bit scarier actually, the smaller the box. And I sent a box over to Whitney at Whiskey and Wit, so make sure that you watch the entire video series in the playlist. So watch Whitney's video after you watch my video. So for the April Mystery Box Challenge, the theme is spring. We had to send a flower pot, gardening tool, anything wood, a floral item, moss, yarn, and then we had a sender's choice, a challenge item, which was the sender's choice, and then the 10th item was a challenge item, which was a piece of clothing. And then there's also a twist. You must use something from outdoors with one challenge item. I think I read that entire sentence when I first looked at this. I know I saw must use something from outdoors, but I didn't see with the one challenge item. So gosh, who knows what she sent me. Okay, I'm gonna take a deep breath before I open the box. Here we go. Okay, right off the top. Oh my gosh. Okay. She really packed this tiny box full of things. Okay. And she labels everything too. Okay, here's what it looks like. So, item 3, wood. Okay. She's got a little, she literally took the time to print off little pictures with a label for each item. Courtney, I want to be like you when I grow up. Item number 5, moss. She's hilarious. Oh, this is a pretty color. I have some of this too, this color. Item 6, yarn. And we've got, oh, this is really pretty, and I love the butterfly pattern and the pink. Pink is one of my favorite colors. Item 8, sender's choice. All right. And then we've got item 7, sender's choice. It's like a little galvanized birdhouse on a little wood plaque. Cute. I mean, I already knew some of these items were going to be in here, so I'm not really surprised. All right, then we have item number 2, a garden tool, which is obviously a little handheld trowel is what it's called, a trowel. Item 10, look at the clothes. Clothing. All right, we're gonna set that aside. Item number 9, challenge item. Okay, this is okay, setting that aside. This is wrapped. I'm assuming it's something fragile, so let's see what this is. Oh, item number 1, a flower pot, and it's a little, if I can get it out of this protective wrapping, I was scared to send a ceramic or anything like that from it breaking, and this looks like it survived. It's like a 3-pack of little mini terracotta pots. I already know what I'm going to do with that. I already know. Of course, there's goodies. All right, and then she's got item 4, flowers. I must have opened it upside down because I got the card at the bottom. And of course she gave me some goodies. Thanks, Courtney. Let's see what's in this card. It's really glued shut. Cute little spring card. Melanie, so glad to have you doing another round of MBC. I hope my challenge items don't discourage you too much. I know you will do an awesome job with this box. I can't wait to see what you create. Happy crafting. Much love, Courtney. Cute. Oh my gosh, and these are gummy nerds. She always sends candy, but I love it. I love it. All right, probably gonna eat those while I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to make. That was it. So ready to open the challenge items. So sender's choice, let's do that one first. And I love Courtney's wrapping paper. She has her own wrapping paper. So cute. Okay, this isn't too bad. Courtney, you're being easy on me. Some feathers. I mean, it's springtime is the theme, so yeah, there's a lot of things you could do with this. I already got something in mind. Okay, I think she's being too easy on me. Okay, the last thing. Challenge item number 10, clothing. As long as it's not like a bra or like a thong or something. Let's see. Oh my gosh, what did she send me? An old t-shirt. Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do with this? Challenge accepted. Okay, so now I've got to take a few days and think about what I'm going to do with all of these items. I do have a lot of things in mind already. I was going to create some spring dollar store DIYs for my channel, and so I'm just going to incorporate that into this video. So I'll see you in the next one when we get started crafting. So the first thing I knew I wanted to do was use this beautiful butterfly fabric, and I decided to glue this fabric down to a piece of craft paper. And you could use chipboard, but this is actually just a thin piece of craft paper, and it's a 12 by 12, and I ended up using some Mod Podge and spread it all over this piece of paper and attached the fabric to the top of it just to kind of give it like some type of backing. And then I took the fabric, placed it down on top, and then I applied a little bit of Mod Podge on top of that as well. And then I let the fabric dry. You don't need too long, just a few minutes. And then once that was dry, I started to cut out some butterfly shapes from the fabric because what I wanted to create was basically some fabric butterflies. Just took a Saturday afternoon and just started cutting a bunch of these butterflies by hand, and they actually turned out really cute. I had this old sign, it's actually double-sided sign I made a long time ago. And I don't even use it anymore. I could paint over this, but I'm just going to leave it. But I took a piece of chipboard. This is actually the backing of one of my scrap paper pads. So I just used that and I cut it to size. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a couple glue dots to attach it to the frame so that I can actually remove it later on if I want. And you'll see why in a second. I just put some little glue dots on there and they're stuck in each corner. And I'm going to press it down. And then if I ever wanted to take whatever I'm about to do off, I can just easily take off each corner, glue dot corner. All right, here we go. We're working with the reindeer moss. This gets really messy, so that's why I didn't want to actually glue it to my frame. I'm gluing it to this piece of chipboard. And then I took the butterfly fabric, so pretty, and I decided I'm going to make a whole bunch of little fabric butterflies. And these are chipboard on the back. So I folded them so they're little 3D butterflies like they're flying. And so we're going to just start gluing the moss all over this frame. And I do have some extra bags in case I need more. And again, I'm just going to be using just some tacky glue. Huge mess. I don't want this falling off either. Used like a piece of green cardstock or chipboard as the backing so it didn't show through. So I used 3 packets of moss so far, and this is like a 12 by 12 frame. It feels so cool. The moss feels so cool. Actually wasn't too messy and it looks pretty good. All right, I'm gonna try some Mod Podge over this. I wish I had spray glue. I'm just using the bag that the moss came in to kind of press it down with the Mod Podge. Okay guys, I'm gonna actually go stick this in the hot Florida sun and let it bake a little bit, like bake in there and get glued down. And then I'll be back to finish this project. Okay, so we're back and I just checked this and it's like, you know, there might be a couple pieces still falling off, but so the next thing I was going to do was attach some butterflies. And so I already cut some of these out and I hand cut everything. And so I'm just going to arrange them on here to create a really cute spring wall art piece. And you can mess around with them to get them to be 3D. I'm going to start gluing them down. Okay, that's it. So simple and easy, and like I said, I can take this piece off so that my frame is not completely ruined if I ever wanted to change this back. This butterfly moss wall art frame is a delightful way to bring a bit of the outdoors inside. The vibrant green moss provides a lush backdrop for the colorful fabric butterflies. I am going to be using this garden tool, and I picked up this garden sign from Dollar Tree, and I also have one of these handy little hooks from Dollar Tree. And although this is really cute, it's not what I'm going for, so I'm actually going to paint the outside here in black, just using some black acrylic paint. And I'm going to try to paint this garden sign area in white. I'm trying to make it a little bit more cohesive with my home decor. So I'm just going to paint the edges here. And I think that actually looks better, but I'm trying to keep some of these fun colors in here. Okay, I think I'm going to put this outside, let it dry. I kind of want to do a white picket fence, but I'm not going to do it while this black paint is still drying. Okay, so I've got that half wood circle, and I decided I'm going to stain it. And then I went and grabbed some wood letters. These are from Dollar Tree. And I spelled out in full bloom, only I don't have any O's. So what I'm going to do is cut these Q's and make them into O's. So when you don't have something and you want it, you just improvise. What do you think? Looks like an O, right? So the stain I'm using is Early American. And yes, I'm wearing this crazy colored glove. So I'm just using an old t-shirt. Making sure I get the edges here. Now I'm going to paint those letters. I'm just using a white acrylic paint. Any white paint works on these wooden letters. Alright, I'm going to let these dry, but I'm going to go grab my garden sign and see if I can paint the white parts I wanted to paint on it. So it actually doesn't look too bad. It dried pretty quick in the sun in Florida. I'm going to give it a second coat of black and paint the picket fence white. Okay, I like it. I feel like this should be all one color. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm gonna let it dry and look at it later. Okay, so my garden sign is finally dry, and so I'm just gonna use some E6000 glue and glue it right to the front of these hooks. This garden sign hook project is a handy spot to hang tools, gloves, or even decorative items like wind chimes. I hung the trowel as a tool on my garden hanger. It's an easy and creative DIY that not only organizes your gardening essentials, but also adds a touch of personality and charm to your outdoor space. Okay, before I attach the letters that are now dry, I'm going to put a sawtooth hanger on the back. So I'm going to hang this. So just trying to put it centered. Okay, so I'm going to take a yarn and I'm going to cut several strands to hang from the bottom of this shape to give it kind of a bohemian look. Now this Seminole yarn may not be the best one, so I'm actually going to be cutting a lot more of this versus this. All right, I have a bunch of strips cut. I'm just going to start tying them all to this wooden dowel. So here is my dowel. Actually, I wasn't going to do a whole time lapse. I believe took me about 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes to do the whole thing. You can see there's two different types of yarn. It's really pretty. So I did trim the top. Now I can trim the bottom. So you can do several different shapes if you want. Trim it straight across if you want. You can do a little diagonal. Okay, now I'm going to attach the wood letters. Now I'm going to make a garland. So I've got a piece of twine and I'm just going to start threading some wooden beads. Okay, so now I'm just going to attach these roses. So it's like a little garland. And I had these mini clothespin. I have no idea where I got them. Hopefully it was Dollar Tree, but I've had them in my stash. But just to make sure this stays together, I'm actually going to glue it because I want it to stay together. I don't want it sliding off. So I did 3 beads, and I might have to adjust this once I get it on there. Okay, so here's the garland, and I'm just going to tying it to the end of the dowel so it drapes down like this. Okay. And now I'm ready to attach the sign. So I'm just going to apply some glue here and stick it to the back and then let it rest, and that is going to be finished. Now I was thinking about adding some butterflies on here. I'm not sure. I mean, it would look cute to glue one of the butterflies on the garland, maybe one up here somewhere, or even add a little something right here. So I think I'm gonna leave it like this for now. I think it's just adorable. I know I thought I was done with this, but then I decided to put some of these shorter wooden dowels behind it, and it looks so cute, like a little sun. And I was like, should I paint it yellow too? But I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna add these to the back. I'm just gonna glue them and let them dry, but I'm not gonna paint it yellow because I like the wood look in it. But just to give you an idea, if you do find this half moon shape, that would be really cute to turn it into a sun. This macrame wall art sign brings a touch of bohemian elegance with its yarn and bead accents. As you hang it in a sunny spot, you'll find it radiates warmth and style, capturing the essence of spring renewal. Using the flower pots and the feathers, this was one of my challenge items. I've also got this really small wreath form, some twine, some beads, and I did cut some of these yellow butterflies. I'm not sure if I'll use them. Tie it in a knot. And then I'm going to start adding some beads. Can you tell what I'm making yet? I have a way to hang it. And I'm going to have a loop inside of a loop. And there you go. I hope you could see this, but I have it hanging in my craft room again. So then that way, while I'm assembling it, you can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to do one on the other side because it needs a little bit more support. Here it is so far, and I'm just going to add 3 more. Okay, so this is where the feathers come in. I'm just going to cut the feather a little bit, and I'm going to stick it in with this greenery, and then just stick it in each one. I'm probably going to end up gluing it in there just to give it something, make it look a little bit prettier. And then I think I might even add a little butterfly in there. Okay, here's the wind chime. The bottom pieces are like little bells. The top pieces are just decorative little plants. You could add more depending on how noisy you like your wind chimes. So for the bottom piece, I added a ball here, and then I tied a knot inside, added another ball for like the inside bell, and then just a bottom piece. So if you wanted to ring it, it kind of helps the wind catch that bottom piece. This terracotta pot wind chime is a delightful addition to any outdoor space, bringing a touch of bohemian charm and soothing melody to your garden or patio. Okay, for the next project, I'm using this Sender's Choice item, my challenge item, the piece of clothing. And I've got this little galvanized, what is this called? Metal bottle cap from Dollar Tree and a wooden ring. So I'm going to actually take this little piece off here. I could save this. This is a cute little plaque. Make a little sign out of it. I'm gonna take my glue. I'm gonna glue this. You could use E6000 glue as well. Just gonna stick that. So the holes are in the back here where I just took that twine out, and I'm just sticking it right in the center so that you don't see those holes. And it's like this. Cut this into little strips. I clearly have no idea what I'm doing. But this is the beauty of Mystery Box Challenge. You take something and turn it into something else totally unexpected. So that is my goal here. Okay, so basically I'm cutting as many of these long strips as I can. I was actually going to try to use the neck hole, but the neck hole is not usable, so I'm going to skip that. Okay guys, so here is my t-shirt, like t-shirt ribbon. I gathered 7 strands, and then 2 are just a little bit longer, and I've really been like tugging on them, and that's what's giving them this curved look. So it's almost like rope. But because it is a cotton t-shirt, I've really been tugging on it to stretch it out to make it a little bit longer, because the size I was working with was a small. So if it was a little bit bigger t-shirt, then I definitely would have more length to work with. What I'm doing while it's hanging, because it's definitely easier to show while it's hanging, longer piece here, and you can see where some of them I had to tie together here. So I actually don't want that to show at the top. So I'm going to put everything through this wooden loop, but I'm going to have it so that the seam part or the tied parts are down a little bit lower. Okay, so these are my 2 long ones, and I'm just going to do the half knot. So I'm going to drape it in the front and then drape this one through the back. And then I'm just going to pull that snug. And I'm trying to get those seamed pieces so that you can't see them. That actually looks pretty good. We can always tuck that later. And then I'm just going to do that again. So here's our loop. And then tuck it through. And then I'm going to cover up those seams because they're so ugly. We don't want anyone to know that this used to be a t-shirt. Okay, I am not a macrame professional, so that is good enough for me. And then I'm just going to do a wrap knot and just wrap this up so that I can move on to the next step. I'm going to tuck this tail in. Okay, so there. Now we have our strands and we're ready to start doing our knots to connect it all together. Okay, so we're going to start with the first 4. I'm going to do it down pretty low. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to do a square knot. Okay, there's the first one, and then I just need to continue that all the way around. I am already running out of cord. You can see here. So I'm gonna see what I could do about that. I might need to just tie this off. Okay, now I'm just going to tie another wrapping knot. T-shirt. Now I'm going to trim the bottom piece. Okay, now for the moment of truth, and I don't think this is 100% correct, but will it work as my bird feeder? Does it work? I think so. I think it works. I think it works. Boy, am I happy that came together. I used the t-shirt, I did some macrame knots, and now I have a place to put bird seed and feed the birds outside for spring. Okay, so for the bird feeder, we were supposed to use a twist of using something from outside. So I'm just going to place a couple rocks on here to help balance it. I'm going to add the bird seed. I just used one of those S-hooks to hang it. I think it looks adorable. I hope the birds love it. This hanging macrame bird feeder is a wonderful way to upcycle an old t-shirt into something both beautiful and functional. Watching those birds flock to your handmade feeder will bring a touch of nature's charm to your outdoor space, making this project as rewarding as it is simple to create. Wow, I can't believe I was able to use those challenge items the way that I did. Courtney really threw me for a loop with that old t-shirt, but it was a lot of fun, and I hope that you enjoyed watching my video. Make sure that you jump over to Whitney's video so you can see what I sent her for her challenge items. And don't forget to watch the entire loop. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to check out my channel. I've got a lot more for you to watch, and subscribe so we can keep in touch. Bye!